Have you ever dreamed of living in your own industrial studio apartment? Then this video is for you. I'm turning this massive warehouse into my dream creative studio. From design to reality, I'm taking you with me to every step of the process. As a filmmaker and photographer, I spend a great deal of my time indoors, so I need a space that fuels my creativity. But finding the perfect space wasn't easy. After countless viewings, I finally found it. A huge industrial storage unit with 10-meter ceilings, upper floor and a garden. Now I'm making it my own. What is up YouTube? Welcome back to episode number 3. The past few days have been absolutely fantastic. We had so many things happen in the studio. We had the extractor done a couple of days ago. Also the kitchen almost done. The island came in. We had the top floor, the 2 rooms separated and completely finished, ready to be painted, which is also the part of the studio that is closer to completely being done. And right when everything seemed to be going amazing, we actually had a major setback. Probably this is a huge problem. Let me take you back a bit. So one of the things I always wanted for this studio was to have an industrial floor, like they do in factories. This studio already had this industrial floor, but there were a few holes here and there. And, after contacting a few people, they told me that it can quite easily be fixed and just get away with just varnishing the top. So in the back of my head, I thought that this would be like the final and easiest step of just doing a varnish. And now that we got close to getting this done, I contacted a friend who has done this quite a lot, and he said that yeah, it looks pretty easy, you can just varnish it and cover the holes with resin, but I should check if the holes chip away. And guess what? Probably this is a huge problem. Even though this is kind of satisfying, I really have no idea how I completely neglected the floor while already being so deep in the project. I guess I looked so much to find the warehouse that already had an industrial floor that I completely forgot about the fact that it's shit. So that means that we will have to chip away the whole thing. The only thing that's in our way now is the island that is very heavy to move, and it's not really advised to move it at all. Meanwhile, I'm also contacting another friend who has a metal constructing business, and he said he can do the whole, it's not really interior or exterior, but it's the front glass thing that separates the garage from the actual studio. So I guess this and the floor are the 2 final things that keeps me from actually starting to live here. Something I didn't know when I rented this place is that there is a farmer's market right outside the studio every Wednesday or something. In the beginning I was feeling a bit weird, but then I thought that this is actually kind of cool, and when the studio is ready it will feel like a James Bond movie coming out of the industrial studio straight into a market, off to a weird mission or something. So yeah, I don't really think anymore that's actually bad. One of the coolest things about this project is that I get to do a lot of the work by myself, at least the stuff I can do, like plastering, sanding and painting. Obviously there's a lot of people involved already and professionals, but the little things that I can do, I will try to do by myself. So once I finished plastering the bathroom and sanding it to cover the pipes, I put 2 layers of white paint, then another layer of waterproof paint, and then I covered the shower with epoxy resin. Basically makes the walls glossy and water resistant. So now it's gonna be waterproof when water will be all over the place here. In a couple of days the plumber will come and attach everything here, there, and then we're basically done with this. So even though I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with the garden yet, a friend of mine offered to bring a couple people to clean it up because it was a huge mess. So I thought I could do this while I was waiting for the carpenters to come and do some more work in the kitchen. It's slowly coming along. The vision in the kitchen is to have like a really cinematic place where I can shoot content either for a cooking show or like a commercial, anything that has to do with food. The whole way that the kitchen and the island is placed will serve the purpose of shooting content. And also that's the reason the extractor is really high and not that effective. If I have a presenter doing something, I want him to be visible in the shot. Here you can see my incredible plastering skills, and coming up next is the bathroom furniture for the sink, as well as the sink, and should be good to go. And moving on upstairs, in the previous episode we transplanted the door from one room to the other, separated them, and now only thing left is to paint these two rooms and they should be ready. I'm planning to make these into a main bedroom and a guest bedroom, and there's also plenty of more space on the upper floor that I will decide later what to do. It's like there's so much space in the studio that I can't really think what to do with. I have to say the painting part was really satisfying. Who doesn't love painting? But honestly guys, if you find a girl who wants to paint walls and scrape floors with you, you should probably marry her. This scraping part was quite exhausting, and I'm sure there's a machine out there that can do the job in like 20 minutes, but we ended up doing it ourselves. Took maybe 5 or 6 days. Eventually we just found out that there's like a big line that the leak or so was like following, so we just scraped this part, and the good parts we just left as is. And once we flooded the studio with water to clean it, I just saw the first glimpse of what it's gonna look like after it's glossy as fuck. I mean, that's my plan, to go for the glossiest option there is. Luckily the upper floor was in actual good condition, so we had absolutely no scraping to do there. We just cleaned it and we'll put a varnish later. Obviously I'm doing everything here for the first time, but I was following directions from my friend who's gonna do the floor, and this was quite easy, to be honest. Just like painting a wall, we just painted the floor with primer. This had a really funny texture when it was dry, almost like sandpaper, and I guess this is what you need before putting on the auto leveling cement, which we're gonna put. And the big day we've all been waiting for is finally here, and we started out by mixing the cement one bag at a time, and then he would level it out.
Let's go, yep.
And we try to be as fast as we can, so by the time he's done leveling one bag, we would bring out the next. Even though it started as really fun, it became extremely exhausting after the third bag or so, so we swapped seats on who's pouring the cement and who's like mixing it. Of course we're doing this for the first time ever, and even though Bart knows what he's doing, we were not like amazing at mixing it, so you can kind of see it also.
Beautiful. Repeat.
As the floor progresses, that the mix is becoming better and better. But you know, whenever something doesn't go perfect on this project, I always say, hey, it's industrial studio apartment. I mean, of course it's gonna be full of imperfections. It's not like the vibe I'm going for is perfectionism. I mean,
give another stir and see. Yeah.
I always had in my mind these industrial units in New York City that are full of like imperfections everywhere, but you know, the vibe is like amazing. And after 24 hours, I was making my first step. I was with the right foot and looks exactly what I wanted. If you're wondering why it looks like waves, so it was on purpose. I thought giving it texture would be more interesting. So I let the cement fully dry for around 7 days, and then I started putting on the primer for the gloss.
Oh my god, this is so satisfying.
I went to the store and asked for the glossiest finish they have. The guys there advised me and actually asked me at least 10 times, like, please don't buy it, please don't buy it. It's like too glossy and maybe too slippery. I was like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm gonna get it. I feel like the past few weeks I'm like painting either walls or floors, and there's like layers of primers and different types of paint all over my body. So I got like 4 buckets of this Neodur polyurethane finish and started painting once again. And immediately after finishing, the look on the floor was like absolutely incredible, exactly what I was going for.
So, day 2 of varnish. Today I'm gonna have to put another layer to make it extra glossy and more durable. However, it already looks quite good. On the top is not that smooth, so I will not go for a glossy finish. I'll just get any matte they have available, to be honest. So I left my shoes outside, but it feels great walking on it. These are the marks I left from sanding all the parts that needed to be sanded out. And yeah, you could say it looks like a brush stroke now. But yeah, I love it. The guy who's gonna do the entrance construction came here. He did this sketch of how it's gonna be. We decided the door will go all the way to the left. Initially, I wanted it somewhere in the middle. So it will go all the way to the left. We'll make it 240, which is like quite big, like somewhere there. I can't reach it. So it should be roughly from there till here, all the way up there.
Then I followed the exact same procedure upstairs, another primer and then the gloss. And then I proceeded downstairs to put on the second layer, which was like extremely hard because I could not see anymore where I'm painting, and I had to put like signs.
As you can see, it's almost impossible to tell that I painted there, and here it's not painted yet. So I'm gonna use this as a mark and then keep moving it around so I know what parts I have painted, because it's like impossible to tell, like this is painted, this isn't. Painted, not painted. So this will be my savior.
Yes, sir. So the final layer is done, as you can see. It feels fucking incredible walking on it. They did tell me it's quite slippery, but you know, I really wanted to do it that way, so I don't care that it's slippery. Right now I'm walking barefoot, so it doesn't really feel that it's slippery. It feels really smooth. It's really like glass. Now that the floor is done, everything can move forward, since we were a bit stuck lately. I guess the whole thing with the floor is a lesson that you should always get a second opinion or third or fourth opinion when it comes to construction issue like this because when I first came in, it looked pretty good to me. The owner said it's like pristine condition, so did a couple more other guys that saw it. When I thought that the floor is like perfect and I could just go away with a bit of varnish on top, seems that was not the case. And if I had found out about this in the very beginning, it would have been like quite faster. You know, a lot of things would have moved faster because right now we had to pause everything. I guess this took us back around a month. And yeah, for now, let's just have a closer look at the floor because it's looking crispy. Alright guys, so we're finally becoming friends. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Sorry, mama. And the next and final big step, at least, is the glass construction along with the door. I had a rough sketch of how I wanted it to look, and then went over to my friend with a metal construction business to make a proper design and finalize it